Hello, Penny here from East Hertfordshire Family Centre Service. Now, providing fun activities into a child's daily routine helps to improve their development of both their fine and gross motor skills. Now, the fine motor skills involve movement of the smaller muscles, which we'll find such as in our hands and our fingers and our wrists. And our gross motor movements refer to the larger muscle groups, such as our shoulders and our arms and our legs. These enable our babies to sit up, turn over, crawl and walk, and our older children to run, hop, jump and skip. Now, the ability to learn and practice these motor skills at an early age can benefit them most socially, personally and academically. But as with all our children's stages of development, these skills develop in a broad age range. And there are so many different activities out there that we can do that promote such development. But today I just want to concentrate on a few to help with regards to mark making ones that sort of help those fine and gross motor skills. So what about whole body painting? Yep, I know it sounds awful, but it's not as bad as it sounds, I promise you. But it is probably an activity that's best practiced outside or somewhere you've got a load of fabric or covering on the floor. All you need is a large piece of paper, and you're going to explore the paint using either your hands, your knees, your elbows, your forearms. What you're going to do is to dip those body parts into paint or paint on and then print onto the paper, such as these. There we go. Elbow prints. So I've just dipped the elbows in and printed them. Those are my knees. Again, printed them in and sort of looking at those shapes. And then on here, they look slightly odd, but those are the forearms. Here, so pressing down, and of course you've got your good hands and fingers there. And as you push down onto those body parts, you're really pressing down, particularly on the shoulder ones, down here, and developing those muscles there. So the more you press down, the more it's working those. And fun to be had to boot as well. What about mop painting? So again, you just want a dish. I've used a dish mop here. But if you want to have a go using a big floor mop, there's nothing to say you can't. And it might be something that you can both work on together. And simply, you just dip your mop into paint and push down. And if you're using that nice big solid grip, you're pushing down and you're working those shoulders. And there we go, some mop prints. And if you want to use the big floor mop, just use water and use that outside, because water is fabulous for making marks. So again, those are some ones there that strengthen those upper bodies. Now, spirograph marks. So, big piece of paper or anything on which you can write, or even practice doing this perhaps with water, and lie on the ground flat on your back, have those arms stretched out, and you just move your pen, paint, water up and down, and stretch those arms up and down. And you can lie on your front doing exactly the same. It's working those upper muscles there. And the importance of doing those with your upper ones is that if you get a better grasp and develop those, then those small, finer motor ones become much easier to do. We need to get these sort of gross motor ones developed well before we go to those fine ones. So, mark making is exactly what that is, and those are great for those smaller muscles movements. And it is just making marks, whether they be dots, straight lines, curvy lines, sort of wavy lines, zigzag lines. It doesn't really matter. They are just marks, and they're great for the finger control. So just let your child take the pens, paint, water, whatever it is you want to do, make those marks wherever. As I say, use brushes with water outside. Use a variety of brushes. So use your typical paint brushes, use your household brushes of all sizes, nail brushes, anything else that you can think of, hairbrush, whatever. It's just making those marks on those surfaces. Use different surfaces. So you've got the paper, shiny paper, pavement, that is harder to use, particularly if you're using chalk as well. What about being like Michelangelo and painting the Sistine Chapel? Fix a piece of paper underneath the table, similar to this. So you lie underneath the table and you have your pens or your paint, whatever you want, and you can stretch up and paint and draw underneath. You could decorate a little play den there if you want to as well. And another activity you could do is a pushing activity, pushing and walking animals or vehicles. Take an animal or a vehicle and tie a paintbrush to the end. Dip that into paint, and as you push the animal or vehicle along, that will then make a mark similar to something like this. So again, it's that pushing action. They may not seem like they're working the muscles, but they are working those muscle groups. And pushing and walking animals and cars through sand, mud, water, whatever that is, making those marks in that area, again, is doing that. Mark making isn't confined to pen and ink and such like. So whatever you do, enjoy those and have fun making your marks and building up those big, strong muscles. Bye-bye.